Hi, I'm Alan Day, CEO and founder of State of Flux, and welcome to The Power of Three, a video series where we interview leading chief procurement officers and executives about three things that have influenced their careers. From books to bosses, from music to movies, we explore the three things that have shaped their success. Join us as we learn from the best of the business here on The Power of Three. Hi, welcome to this session of The Power of Three. I am so excited and honoured to have Karen Blackett join me for this session. Karen and I have been friends for quite a while now. And what I love is, typically my Power of Three sessions have been with procurement people, and Karen is the UK's leading marketing person. So it's so cool to have the other side of the table join us today. So welcome, Karen.
It's brilliant to see you, Alan, and I am so stoked to be doing this with you. So thank you for asking.
Well, thank you. So, Karen, I'm gonna kind of get you straight into the detail and get you to talk about three roles that you've had over your amazing career, and three things that you'd like to be known for.
So I'm going to talk about three roles which I think have been pivotal in my career. And have helped form my leadership style and who I am now. So the first one, and I think the first significant one, was when I became marketing director for Mediacom UK, which at the time, and it still is actually, was the biggest media agency in the UK. And the marketing director role meant it focused on new business, so new clients and trying to attract new clients to the agency, but also you were the brand guardian for the agency as well. So what you stood for in the industry, and I think that was a big role because the previous people who had had those roles had gone on to become CEOs of the agency, and it was a role where I really learned that I was selling other people. I was selling the agency to clients, and you were almost matchmaking, so trying to put clients with the right people from the agency to get the right results. And so it wasn't about yourself, it was about others. And that taught me a lot about how you get the best out of other people and how you really market brands. Because I was having to do that for Mediacom, and then every single client, you're marketing their brand.
Yes.
So that was a pivotal role in terms of my leadership journey. I think the one after that, actually, which will be a surprising one, was when I became a non-exec for the Cabinet Office. Working with UK government, and I did that for 3 years, for the 3-year term, and during that time, I think I had 4 different Duchy of Lancasters, who were the people, the ministers that were sort of leading the Cabinet Office. So It was quite a volatile time. And I did that during Brexit. I did it during, exiting the EU, but also did it during COVID as well. So again, looking at the sort of wider stage and looking at how the UK was going to bounce back during difficult times and what that meant for citizens of the UK, but also businesses in the UK, it was an amazing experience.
How did that compare, given the marketing background, you're now going into public sector, how did you find that transition? Okay.
Look, my mum and dad had always told me, and it's one of the quotes when you ask me about quotes, learn, earn, serve. So learn your craft, earn your money, make sure that you serve and give back. So I've always had a real sense of public duty and serving.
Yes.
And I think my perspective going into that room as a non-exec for the Cabinet Office, it was multifaceted. So it was A, about what do businesses need. It was B, about what do communities lead in terms of ethnic communities. and making sure that I represented ethnic communities, but it was also understanding consumers. So my background in terms of marketing and advertising is trying to understand consumers. So part of it was representing the consumer, so representing that beautiful fruit salad of modern Britain in the room, because I've had to understand them for my day job. So it was, as a business leader, understanding consumers, but also making sure that, you know, that the multicultural and ethnic community in the UK was represented and thought about as well.
Very cool. Thank you. And your third one? I'm not going to let you get away with two. So.
My third role, look, I'd say it's a difficult one. It's a choice between either becoming country manager for WPP, because it was the first time that the role had been created.
Yes.
And I'm now president of WPP in the UK, or it's chief operating officer for Europe, Middle East and Africa for Mediacom.
Yeah.
Both of them have taught me loads, and both of them I think have taught me about leading people when you're not technically their boss.
Yes.
You're not technically the person that can fire or hire, but so it's taught me about influence.
Yeah.
So I work with amazing, talented CEOs in my WPP role who are running their own businesses and their own agencies. And in the EMEA role, I was talking to and working with CEOs who are running markets. And your role is to help them grow the businesses, and to help clients navigate their journey through either Mediacom across multiple markets or WPP across the different agencies. So that's really taught me about influence and leading from the front, the middle and behind.
Yes.
So both of those roles, again, have taught me a lot.
Awesome. Thank you. And the three things that you would want to be known for from your career?
Look, I absolutely hope that I'd be known for changing the makeup of the industry. The marketing and advertising industry, you know, I think that the last survey that was done by the Advertising Diversity Task Force showed that the average in the UK, 1 in 14 people go to privately educated schools. In our industry, 1 in 3 of our leaders. So looking at how we look at social mobility, also how we look at any form of diversity. So I hope I am known for being the champion and trying to diversify our industry, that talent is absolutely everywhere, but that opportunity isn't.
Yes,
and recognising, trying to give talent from all walks of life an opportunity. So I hope I'm known for that. I really hope I'm known for our industry being an industry where you can have a successful career. So when I started in the industry, I remember my mum and dad were horrified because they were so focused on, you know, having a vocational career. And I'm sure that's, you know, part of being, you know, second generation immigrant to the UK, that first generation want you to be a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant, you know, a profession.
Yeah.
And me coming into the creative industries, they're like, what is that? She's going to be unemployed for all of her career.
Yeah.
So I hope making advertising an attractive industry sector, or the creative industries, an attractive industry sector to have a career, but also recognition for how it contributes to GDP as well. So how it contributes to UK growth. So that's the second thing, really making sure that people understanding the value of what we do.
Yes.
And it's not just drawings or pretty pictures, but it's a business and can generate growth, I think is the second thing.
Yes.
And I think the third thing is being a single mum and having a career as well.
Yep.
So people knowing that you can do both.
Yeah.
It's bloody hard, but it is absolutely possible to be a working single parent in the industry and have a good career.
And a lovely son.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to change it up a bit and I'm going to get you to think about 3 books that have kind of influenced your career, or even you just enjoy by the beach with a glass of something in your hand. What are 3 books that you'd kind of recommend?
The 3 books, and I have them with me.
Oh,
Because
very
I've come
good.
prepared, Alan. I've come prepared. So the first one is by an ex-WPP employee called John Steele, which is Perfect Pitch.
Yes.
And when I became sort of marketing director, this was one of the books that I went to and read, because it teaches you about how to sell ideas. It's a brilliant book. It is still relevant today. And John Steele was absolutely brilliant. He used to run our fellowship at WPP, based in Australia, so your neck of the world.
Yes.
And it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant book, and that was really influential in my journey in the industry. So, great book, worth reading, because it's all about how you sell ideas
Love it.
and win business. So that's brilliant.
Thanks.
The second one is by my good friend, June Sarpong.
Yes.
Called Diversify, and I quote so much from this book to my leaders, talking about how when you have diversity of thought, you get better problem solving, better ideas, better creativity, just with some really simple ideas in it as well. So the one that I always talk to my team about, which is in this book, is check your circle. So who are the 4 people that you go to when you have good news or bad news? Who are your 4 people who are your trusted advisors? And if they are exactly the same as you in terms of educational background, gender, in terms of social background, race, you're not doing anything to sort of promote inclusion in your own organisation and get the best talent and best ideas. So that's the second one.
Like it.
And then the last one, it fits in with one of your questions that you ask, is this book, which is We Can Do It, which is just a book of awesome quotes from brilliant women, from on all range of women. And it's just brilliant because, there's all walks of life in here, and there's just some brilliant one-liners. So, my fingers have just turned to the page, which is Margaret Atwood. If I waited for perfection, I would never write a word. So there's just some brilliant, brilliant quotes. So those are the 3.
Thanks, Karen. Love it. So let's change it up and think about 3 movies that you like to relax to, or you just find inspiring, and sort of give you good thoughts of childhood memories. What came to mind?
So, the first is a book which became a film, and I think I saw the film before I read the book, which is To Kill a Mockingbird, which I love that book and love that film, and I love Gregory Peck as well. So brilliant film. Cannot get Isaac to watch it because it's a black and white film and he's not interested. But if he was a girl, he might have been called Scout because of that book. So love that film. The second one, again, it was one of a favourite of my mum's. So Sidney Poitier was one of my mum's favourite actors, and it's Catherine Hepburn, Spencer Tracy, Sidney Poitier, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Nice. Which is a brilliant film which addresses and looks at racial tension in the US back in the 60s, and sort of flips it on its head a bit. So looks at a black doctor who is going to marry a lovely, beautiful white woman, and the viewpoint of the family when they first meet him. So really funny, but also with some key messages in it as well. So it's brilliant, and I love Sidney Poitier. And the last one, just because I love the film, is probably The Godfather. And I'm trying to think, do I want Godfather 1 or do I want Godfather 2? I think I want Godfather 2.
Very good.
I absolutely love the Godfather films. 3 was a disappointment, but 1 and 2 Brilliant films.
Now that's why. See, now you've thrown me there. I wouldn't have picked you being a Godfather fan, but
Massive fan. Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I love it. So yeah, that's a nice segue into 3 bosses that you've had throughout your career.
None of them were like Godfather Mafia bosses. Oh, good. That is an interesting segue. So, look, the 2 bosses who have been absolutely instrumental in my career, who they just saw talent and they didn't think about race, they didn't think about gender. So Stephen Allen at Mediacom.
Yep.
Amazing. And he just cared about winning.
Mm.
And so would pick me on his team. So Steve, definitely. The other one, Nick Lawson, who is the current global CEO of Essence Mediacom, and he took over from Steve Allen when Steve stepped away. And Steve is the current chair of Brain Labs. So Nick Lawson is a bit like an annoying older brother, I would say our relationship's developed into. But again, he is the one that would speak about what I was capable of in the rooms that I did not yet have access to.
Yeah.
So he absolutely would talk about what I'm able to do and what you'd get if I was put in a role.
Yes.
So he absolutely advocated for me.
Yeah.
And pushed me as well. Sometimes pushed me into roles that I didn't think I wanted to do.
Nice.
So a brilliant boss, one that, you know, you could have a great debate with and you could agree to disagree, but there's healthy respect there.
Yes.
So yeah, a really good boss. And the third one wasn't a boss, but I would say more a mentor.
Yeah.
Who's been instrumental, and she passed away recently, was Baroness Margaret Madonna, who was the first female General Secretary for the Labour Party.
Yeah.
So I went to her funeral recently, which I was honoured to go to, and she was amazing. So I always felt Margaret's hand on my back, pushing me forward. She was always great counsel, great advice. I miss her loads. And look, the person that she was, you could tell from the hundreds of people that turned up for her funeral. Tony Blair sort of spoke.
Yes.
You know, there were so many people that spoke because she was absolutely amazing and did loads for others. So I always felt Margaret's hand on my back, pushing me forward.
Excellent. And do you feel you needed that push?
Absolutely, because I think everyone, or most people I know, 99% of people I know have some form of imposter syndrome.
Yes.
And I think Margaret absolutely, for sure, was one of the people that would say, why not?
Yeah.
Why can't you do it? Why not? Stop discounting yourself. Why aren't you applying?
Yes.
So absolutely, because, you know, when you are sometimes the only one in a room, you do think, should you be in that room? And she was always the person that said, well, absolutely, you should be in it, and made you believe.
Like it. So we've touched a bit on quotes, but I'll get you to do your 3 favourite quotes, if you would. So
look, one of them's from my dad, which I think again is a quote which somewhere in West Indian families, I don't know where they all got it from, but it's a quote that seems to be repeated a lot. Yeah. So myself and Isaac attended the 30th memorial service for the death of Stephen Lawrence this year, in April this year. And Stuart, Stephen's brother, spoke, and he talked about this quote, which when he said it, Isaac just turned around and looked at me because I now say it to him. And my dad said it to myself and my sister, which was, you have 2 ears, 1 mouth, use them in that proportion. So always make sure that you really listen
Yeah.
Listen and learn before you speak up. And I think I say that to so many people about really listening, really hear what somebody's saying, because sometimes people don't listen enough.
Yes, I agree.
Or can misinterpret or hear what they want to hear. So really listen and learn. So that's the first one, and that's come from my dad, and it must be some West Indian fable, I don't know. Because every West Indian family seems to be able to quote that quote.
Yeah.
The second one is actually a Maya Angelou quote.
Okay.
And again, this is, I think, really important when you're a leader to understand the impact that you can have. And the exact quote, and I'll read it because sometimes I sort of throw in my own words, but it's, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And that's so true. Because sometimes you can forget what a disagreement was, you can forget what the topic was, but you'll remember how you left a meeting feeling. You'll remember it. So I think that's really, really pertinent, and I think really important for leaders to remember
I agree. Yeah.
that you're talking to human beings, and it doesn't matter what the issue is. Be kind, be hard on the issue, not the person. Be kind.
Yes.
I think it's really
like
important.
It. Yeah.
And then the last one is a Buddhist philosophy, so it's a Buddha quote, and it's again about when something happens and you're feeling annoyed or angry about it, that you've got to let it go.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it can eat you up, and you can get people with chips on their shoulder.
Literally.
So I've got my roof blind open, and there's guys cleaning the gutter, and half of it's just come in. So the last one was a Buddhist quote.
Yep.
And it is, again, as I said, it's about letting things go, and not letting it affect you and change how you are and who you are. So it's holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned.
I like it.
So it's just letting things go. I
it.
talk about that a lot. I do a course for an organisation called The Pipeline, which is about getting women onto boards in their organisations. And I go in and I do a 2-hour workshop on personal branding. And I talk about that in terms of things that can affect you during your career, or things that you think were unjust, or decisions that were made that you don't think were right, and it's really hurt you. You've got to let it go.
It's really, really, really good advice. So yeah, thank you. I love them. I'm going to steal with pride, if I may.
Of course.
Now, having been to some of your parties, I'm really interested in the next question, which is your 3 music tracks. Because I can imagine this was hard to whittle down to 3.
This was unbelievably hard. So I've recently had to do a podcast for Spotify called Outside Voice, and it's the soundtrack of your life. Excellent. And it's the soundtrack that helps you with creativity. Yeah. And I struggled on that, getting it down to 20 tracks. So you asking me for 3 is really, really hard. And again, I've tried to think about what are the go-to tracks that I have when it comes to creativity that help unlock when I've got a blockage, but also what are the tracks that were guaranteed to get me up onto a dance floor as well.
Awesome.
And it's been so bloody hard. So I think the first one is a Caribbean track, actually. So it's a calypso track.
Cool.
Which is Hot, Hot, Hot by Arrow. Okay. Because my family are from Barbados. I was lucky enough to have owned a house in Barbados, so I would go back to Barbados, especially when Isaac was young, at least 3 times a year. And that song just reminds me of my family and reminds me of where I originally came from. plus it's one where you will see grandmas, aunts, everybody get up onto the dance floor.
Fantastic.
So Hot 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 by Arrow, which is back to my roots, I suppose. So my
Yep.
Caribbean calypso roots is really important.
Awesome.
The second one, and I think Isaac would give me approval on this one, is a Stormzy track, which is My Presidents Are Black.
Okay, cool.
And I really do admire Stormzy, especially in this phase of his career now, because he's serving. So that learn, earn, serve. So learn your craft, earn your money, and serve and give back.
Yes.
He's giving back with what he's doing through his Murky brand, sponsoring kids to go to Cambridge, Murky Publishing, looking at, books that would be published that wouldn't normally get publishers. So, and that particular track, not only has it got a brilliant beat, if you listen to the words and the lyrics in it, it talks about diversity and opportunities for the black community. So I love that one.
Fantastic.
And the last one, and this is one that is I would get up on a dance floor, and it is my karaoke tune of choice, is Proud Mary, Tina Turner.
Excellent. Yeah, very good track. Okay. Love it. Good choices. So thank you for that. So I'm gonna kind of wrap things up, and I'm gonna use the state of flux thing that we do after each project, which is 3 things that you've done well and 3 things you'd improve on, before we finish with 3 pieces of advice for listeners.
Okay.
So yeah, what I know you're fairly humble, so 3 things that you've done well.
3 things I've done well, I'd say the first thing that I'm most proud of is Isaac, my son. So he is a brilliant young man. He's a good kid. And everything I do is because of him.
Yeah.
So absolutely Isaac, and being, it takes a bloody village to raise a child. And my God, I've had a village helping, but he is turning into a brilliant young man. So that's the first thing. The second thing, I think, was creating, so I set up a charity. So we launched May last year. It was 2 years in the making before that, and it's called the Black Equity Organisation. So the founding trustees are myself, David Lammy, Dame Vivian Hunt, Kwame Kwei Amar, and Rick Lewis. So we're the founding trustees. We now have more trustees who have come on board.
Brilliant.
And that was really on the back of, after the murder of George Floyd, I had to do loads of sort of press interviews, write articles for newspapers, and David rang me and said, what do you think of Black Lives Matters? And I said, do you mean the political party or do you mean the movement? Because I've got a different opinion depending on what it is that you're asking me. And it's from that, a bunch of us just got together because we were tired. We were tired of the slow progress in change. And although we are not the US and the US has its own issues, there are similar issues in the UK.
Yes.
And there are amazing organisations that exist, but there was not one organisation that was national, that had scale and looked at all areas where there's inequity. So we spent 2 years doing the research because we said we'd be fact-based, looking at what are the areas where the black community is underrepresented or disadvantaged with hard facts. And we created our strategic pillars and we're focused around that. And we're, really fortunate that we've got amazing brands. The WPP have supported us, Sky have supported us. So I'm really proud of that organisation because, again, that is inspired by, and at the time Isaac was 10 when George Floyd was murdered. And I thought back to when I was 10, how much had changed.
Yes.
And there had been change, but not much.
Not much.
So when Isaac's talking to his kids when they're 10, I am hoping that this organisation has been a catalyst to help change things for the better.
Very cool.
So that's the second thing
Yeah.
I'm proud of. And look, the third thing, and it sounds weird, but the third thing is just finding and nurturing talent. So I've had the privilege of working with some amazing people who have gone on to do brilliant things.
Yes.
Really brilliant things. And there's nothing that makes you prouder than when you see them rise and you see them grow and you see them go on and boss it. So I've had the real privilege of working with some amazing people who are in big roles that not started, but have worked with you. So you hope that you've had some help shaping or some influence shaping their career and shaping how they lead. So I'm really proud when I see that talent go on and do brilliant things.
Oh, lovely. I love it. Yeah, I agree. There's no bigger honour really to see the team go on and do these amazing. Yeah, so it's good. And 3 things that you'd improve?
My work-life blend.
Yes. Yes, Karen. Yes. Yeah.
I'm still trying to get that right. When I see things that need changing, I say yes and I get involved. So that can sometimes be at the cost of my own sense of relaxation and space.
Yes.
So that I need to improve that. So work-life blend is one of them. The second thing I'd say is absolutely, I think we can always improve, and I know I can definitely improve when it comes to that perfect pitch. There's always things that you can do better. Yeah. You've never reached the end of that journey. So, our pitching strategy, how we pitch, which means that, it leads to a win. I think you can always do better. So I always want to improve on that. And look, the third thing, I think which is a bit of a contradiction to the first thing, but I think there's more that I can do when it comes to serving. So I think there's more that I can do to give back. So yes, there's, the charity, and yes, I do work with the UK government, although I'm not a non-exec now. I think there's more that I can do to serve. Yes. Because I always want to be able to change things at scale. Yes. Because we're here for a short time, not a long time, so I want to do things as much as I can. Yeah. So serving, doing more to give back.
Thanks, Karen. That's really cool. And finally, we'll finish up with 3 pieces of advice for listeners and their careers.
Do you know what? We've talked about some of it, because some of it's stuff that I've learned on my journey. So look, leadership's about the front, the middle and behind. It's not always about you being in front making all the decisions. Yes. Sometimes you're in the middle with everyone else, crowdsourcing what the right thing is to do. Sometimes it's you behind pushing other people's forward because it's not about you. Yes. So I think that's really important. Leadership's about the front, middle and behind. I think that 2 ears, 1 mouth. I don't care what role you're in, what the industry sector is in, that is universal, because I don't think enough people really listen. Yeah. I've got people that I work with now that I can't finish a sentence before they've jumped in. So I think that is a universal truth. And then the third thing, and it relates to the workshop that I sort of teach, is about know what your personal brand is. So what is it that you're going to stand for? So what's the reason people come to you for advice or help, or to put you in a team, or to give you a promotion? You have to have a personal brand so that people know when you're in that role, or when you're in that team, or when you're part of that project, this is what you're going to get. So you need to be able to turn what you do into an advertising end line. Brilliant. Thank you, Karen. Absolutely loved catching up and getting those insights. Thank you so much for your time. Absolute pleasure. Now I feel as though I've been all mouth and not my two ears. So I feel as though I've just talked.
I've loved having both ears going. It's been brilliant, and I'm sure everyone else will too. It's been fantastic. Thank you.
Pleasure, honestly, an absolute pleasure.